Thank you. Well, I've been to Fukushima several times before 3/11, around 2005. And I've given evidence in particular to the prefectural assembly there on energy policy. You might recall that there was a very interesting assessment underway, actually, under the former governor Sato Aisaku, which sort of was stopped in the middle by some political scandal. But it was a very interesting assessment that was underway. Unfortunately, it wasn't finished. But it's going to be tomorrow and after tomorrow the first time that I go back to Fukushima since that time, and after the disaster. It is, I think, a situation which is very far from being stabilized. You know that the government has announced a cold shutdown. I don't know what this term means. Are these reactors shut down? Usually I have another image of shutting down an industrial facility than to have a number of wrecked facilities that are not stable at all. And I think that one of the particular issues which are problematic is spent fuel in the pools. If those buildings crumble, there could be a new level of catastrophe developing. So it remains, just a few words to say that I think it remains a very, very dangerous situation, far from being stabilized, and with continuous releases to the environment. The question is how to address this, and I think that the way it's been addressed over the last few months illustrates that this is not appropriate. And I think it's a very bad idea to leave the people that have actually failed in the first place and made this actually possible, that they are the ones that are now in charge to deal with the disastrous outcome of the situation. And I think that's a very bad idea. What I think would be needed is an international task force that develops concepts for the short, medium, and long term. And this is not happening. There's some bilateral aid, and I think it's far from being sufficient. But even if that is done, I mean, we could spend a lot of time just to talk about the technical issue and the problematic issue on the side. It's not underestimating the significance if we don't do this here. But I think the question after is what then? What kind of policy? What is the result out of this? What is the lesson to be drawn for energy policy? Currently there's only 6 nuclear reactors operating. The question is for how long? And the question is what has been done over the past few months to stimulate new energy policy? What is Japan's new energy policy? Is there somebody in the room who has an idea? I don't know. I haven't seen any very major advances in a policy shift, which I think would be absolutely fundamental to start very quickly. In fact, the abandoning, if Japan did in fact abandon nuclear power, it would only be accelerating a trend that is happening all over the world. Anyway, the energy revolution is underway. Tomorrow's energy landscape will be very different from today's. It will look much more like the internet, on a horizontal basis, not anymore vertically integrated, where big power plants distribute kilowatt hours and rain kilowatt hours to mere consumers. The logic will be horizontal, decentralized, intelligent networks where consumers and producers will actually mingle. Consumers will become producers, etc. And it needs a complete rethink of the systems, and I can't see that yet. And I think it's a huge opportunity also. A disaster like Fukushima can be taken as a rupture of something if lessons are being taken. And it can be seen as a huge opportunity to actually get fundamental systemic change underway. And I think international cooperation in this kind of event as Peaceboat and others are putting it together, can be a very good sort of kickstart to involve other actors and not only the actors like the large utilities that actually have made the mistakes in the first place. Thank you very much.